Good evening, and thank you so much for joining me here on Your Family Lawyer. It is I, yours sincerely, Earl, all right, bringing you tips, information, and balanced news about family law and the marriage laws in Nigeria, here from the city of Ibadan, Oyo State. All right, thank you so much for joining me once again. Remember that the things that I share here is not legal advice. Right, you may want to say it's legal opinion, but it's not legal advice. So if you have any legal matter, any marriage issue, any issue in your family that you want legal advice on, I suggest that you consult a lawyer. And if it's possible, you could also send a DM. Since I'm a lawyer, I could also attend to you. I am so happy today that it is not raining, right? Unlike other times that it may be raining, the last 2 times it was raining, so I had to be screaming for you to hear me. Okay, now the question is simple and straightforward, and I'm sure you can see it in the comments in the description of this particular video. And it's simple. It is if a man can get custody of his children and can also get maintenance in Nigeria. Yes, the way the law is designed all over the world is that the law gets to favor the weaker party in any relationship, right? That's usually how the laws in our courts behave and they are treated. So between a landlord and a tenant, the law will favor the landlord more than the tenant, right? It's just how it works. Between a husband and wife, the law regards the woman to be the weaker party, so to a large extent, the law wants to see how to be favorable towards the woman. It also happens between a school and a student, or an employer and an employee. The law is usually targeted to protect the interests of the stronger party and also to stand and defend the interest of the weaker party, right? So if you have this understanding, you will know why sometimes to look like some things are biased. They are actually not biased. It is when we are talking about equity. Equity is not equality. Equity is the fact that what decision can we make that will be just and fair for the two parties that are involved in this particular matter, right? So now let's do and go straight to today's conversation. Many people believe that, men will usually be the one that will suffer when it comes to statutory marriages. In fact, most men don't want to have statutory marriage in Nigeria, marriage under the Marriage Act. To make it easier, most men don't want to do what Nigerians generally call court marriage because they feel that it is disadvantageous to men, it empowers women a lot, and they would always lose if something comes up. Today I was in family court, and after that I had to rush to class because I'm also a master's student in the University of Ibadan, and I'm specializing in marriage and family life counseling. Department of Counseling and Human Studies, right? Yes, somebody asked me like, why would you leave law and go there? Like, I'm a family lawyer and I'm a counselor and I'm a therapist. I think I also want to specialize in that area. Why specialize in the legal area too? To see how I could help people in a more balanced way, right? So that's just the whole idea of that. So let's look at it this way. So the person asked me, how was your day? How was your day in court today? You can see I'm seeing my shirt in which I went to court. And I said it was just emotionally messy because people were dragging custody. Most of the cases I witnessed had to do with custody, and both parties were not being nice. So they were putting the children in the middle of this fight, and I usually do not recommend it. I do not find that something that is cool. And then again, while I was in court, although I had already selected this topic for more than 1 week, I asked myself, do people actually think that men will not always be able to get custody? Earlier on today, before I went to court, I had to give legal advice to a man who wanted to know whether he should get custody, whether he can get custody or not. and this is the general policy, this is the general principle. Men will usually not get custody if the child is less than 5. Generally. But in some courts, they will not want to give the man custody if the child is less than 7. So, but let me just say 5, right? If the child is sucking, still nursing, at mother's breast, no way. You are most likely not going to get the custody. You get it now? However, there are special situations and special circumstances in which custody may now be granted to the man. Maybe, for example, if he has remarried, maybe he has his mother living with him, or he has a nanny living with him that was attending to the child before. In most cases, maybe the mother of the child is dead or in prison custody, or has been found insane and mentally capable to attend to a child. In situations like that, but they are very rare cases. So usually what I tell people is that if your child is less than 5 years old, right, don't bother fighting for custody. It's not something you may easily get. It's not something that the court will easily grant to you, right? But if the child is more than 5 years, and for example, the child is more than 5 years and the child is of the same sex with you, perhaps the court would consider it. But the safest time is when the child is 7 years and above. That is one of those times you can be so sure that, oh, the court would consider you. It's going to be a 50-50 thing. But if the child is less than 7, the child is less than 5, your chances are as low as 20%. And could be as low as 10% in some cases. In fact, if it's the family court, the High Court Family Court in Ibadan or your state, if the child is less than 5, forget it. Don't even think about applying. Right? That's my opinion. Don't think about applying. The court will most likely not grant it unless you are really special cases. And unfortunately, I've not witnessed all of that. But then, no one thing, I don't go to that family court every day. So there's every possibility that it could have happened on 1 or 2 days that I wasn't in that court. So this is it. Men can get custody of their children. They can get custody of their children. I've seen it where men got custody of some of their kids, especially when there is proof that this man is more capable of taking care of the child more than the woman. What are the things we look at? We look at the mental health of the woman. We look at the nature of her job. Will the nature of her job give her sufficient time to parent these kids, to attend to these kids? We look at circumstances like when the kids are about 10 years and above, right? Especially if they are in secondary school, you want to ask them who would they want to stay with, who would they want to live with. Right, you also want to consider their opinion, because right now they're in secondary school, they are old enough to make choices, to make some choices, and to make some particular types of decisions, right? So that one also is something that gets to play, right? So if for example, maybe the woman is dating somebody, yes, there's a particular case that will handle, and one of the things we use to say that we would not want the woman to get custody was that she was having multiple boyfriends that she was bringing to the house, who were having sex with her in the house, and these children were also in that house, and we said it was not good for the mental health of the children. So there are situations wherein the court will grant custody to the man. However, we need to show it clearly that because of their age, they are old enough to stay with the man. The man has a flexible nature of job, and over the years, the man has shown himself to be domesticated in the sense that he can cook, or he has somebody who he has hired in the house to do those domestic chores. He has time to give to the kids and many other things. So a man can get custody. It is the nature of the case that actually determines if he can get it or not. And if he can get custody, of course, he can get maintenance. Where does maintenance come in? Is the fact that, remember, if you followed last time, the episode we had last week, if you did not watch it, I recommend you go back to it. The purpose of maintenance is to ensure that the spouses, by the time they divorce, and also the children of that marriage, the issues of that marriage, are able to sustain the life that they had before the divorce, prior to the divorce, right? So if the man is with the children and the woman is economically viable, she has a job or she has a business and she's earning, the court can also order that she pays welfare and maintenance to her children, to support her children. Was it in Zambia? Yes, last week. Even the Zambia court gave a judgment like that a woman should be paying maintenance and welfare to her husband regarding the children. So if she is economically viable, she would be required to, especially if the man asks. I know some people will say, but she's a woman. Is she the father of the children? Do they bear her names? Like, hey, we are talking about equality and fairness here. And we're also talking about equity and fairness here. Justice, equity, and fairness. Right? Now, if you all will scream that the woman should get custody of the children, and when the woman gets custody of the children, you will say that the man should pay welfare and pay maintenance and pay support to those children, why will it be wrong for a woman to do the same if the children are with the man? See, the fact that you are a woman does not make you less a parent than their father, right? So when it comes to rights to children, it is actually 50-50. Nobody has more rights than the other to a child. So if these kids are your children, you gave birth to them, then you are supposed to be responsible for their welfare. It is immaterial, it is not relevant whether you are a man or you are a woman. What matters is that you are their parent and you have the economic means to cater to them, right? And so that's why when it comes to welfare, when it comes to child support or maintenance, the court does not just make an arbitrary order, it does not just make a decision, it considers the salary, it considers the income of the party before making that decision. So for example, if you are earning just 70,000 naira, right? If you are earning 70,000 naira, the court will not expect you to be giving 60,000 naira for support. No, the court will not expect you to give 70. In fact, if you are earning that's 70, 50. If you are earning 70,000 naira every month, I doubt the court will want you to give more than 30,000 naira as support, unless maybe the kids are more than 3. Right? So the court is always very fair. The court will look at your economic power. The court will consider the fact that you are also spending money to sustain your life before making whatsoever decision the court wants to make as it regards maintenance and as it regards support. Right? And so it takes me to the next question. Can husbands also ask for maintenance? I know in foreign countries, in Western countries, we have what we call alimony, right? So it means the money you pay to your ex-wife or your ex-husband, and especially when it comes to during the divorce and the rest. But and again, there is also the ones you may have to be paying every month until the person remarries, right? Or maybe even if the person does not remarry, but you paid every month for a particular period, right? Can something like that happen in Nigeria, and can men also apply for it? The answer is in the affirmative, yes. And the reason is simple. In Nigeria, our Marriage Act, Matrimonial Causes, Parts and Rules is not gender-based. So anything it says for A, it says for B. It's not gender biased, it's not gender specific. So it talks about spouse, it talks about whosoever. So if, for example, in a marriage, a woman earns more than a man in the marriage, or for example, the man took care of the house and the children more than the woman did, or while they were married, the woman was the one who earned most of the money and the man depended economically on her. After divorce, he can also ask for maintenance to be able to sustain the lifestyle he had prior to the divorce. Yes, he can. Some people may not like this. And the reason why you're not liking it and you're fighting it right now is because you are being gender biased, right? You are being gender biased. You are like, he's a man, he should take care of himself, he should do this and that. But no, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So men can ask for custody, men can ask for spousal support, they can ask for maintenance, they can ask the courts to give them certain amount of the woman's salary, of the woman's income every month for a particular time, right? This is what I want to share with you. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section and I'll respond to them. If you send me a DM, yes, I'll regard that as consultation and I'll be able to attend to it directly. Remember, like I said earlier on from the beginning, that this is not legal advice. It's just me giving you my opinion and sharing with you from my experience and from my knowledge. If you have any marriage or family issue, consult a lawyer and get proper legal advice. And of course, because I'm also a lawyer, if you send me a DM, I'll be able to render that legal service to you at a fee, right? Thank you so much for joining me Tuesday, 7 p.m. I'll be back here on Your Family Lawyer. Tell your friends, share this video with everyone out there so I get to learn the same things that you are learning. My name is Earl and I'm alright. And this is me telling you, you rock.